Great. All right. So welcome, everybody. I'm Mark Margulies. I am chair of the Wharf District Council, and I think we should go around the room because we actually have some people here at the table, in addition to those of you who are in remote land. I'll pass it over to Suzanne.
Hi, Suzanne Lavoie. I'm the executive director of the Wharf District Council, and I want to welcome everybody here today.
John Larrabee with the Rose Wharf, member of the council.
Doug Bell, member of the council representing Folio condos.
Sean Ford at the Boston Tea Party Ships Museum, and I was asked here by Matthew Murphy. Talking 150th.
That keyboard is.
Okay. Yes.
Hi, my name is Eileen Brown. I'm the director for the City of Boston Community Preservation Office. My name is Rakia Islam. I'm the manager of engagement and operations with the City of Boston Community Preservation Office. Nice to meet you.
Welcome.
I'm Stephen Johnston. I'm general manager with the Boston Harbor Hotel.
And Matthew Murphy, and I'm the guy you can blame for bringing Sean Ford to this meeting. And I'm managing director of Boston Harbor City Cruises.
Normally on director of security for Boston Hotel.
Great. Oh, welcome indeed.
Could I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Folks that are on the Zoom, we'd ask you to all to mute, because what's happening is it's so sensitive here that every time somebody moves a paperclip, we can hear it in this room. So I think it might be easier if everybody mutes and then just unmute if you want to speak. You don't have to raise your hand or anything.
Yeah. Okay, so thank you, Suzanne. We're going to start out with a update from the Boston Police District A1, Officer Champa, I think.
We also have Sergeant Chabret as well.
Yeah, we do. Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna have Frank do the stats, and then we can take any questions you guys have.
Thank you both.
Hi, guys. Thank you. Thanks, Mark. Pretty quick, brief, nothing crazy over the past month. On April 17th, we had officers respond, and our harbor unit respond over to a drowning behind a long wharf. We had the firefighters respond and EMS. They were able to get the guy out of the water safely and transport him over to Mass General. Good work all around over there. Cold water and everything. So 46 degrees. The guy had no survival suit in saving him. So, pretty good work all around. And, they were able to get him over to the hospital. Secondly, we had about 6 o'clock on Wednesday, March 29th, a larceny over at Mr. Dooley's on Broad Street. The manager called police on behalf of the victim. The victim was a client of that of the business and stated that he put his jacket down and his wallet was taken. The suspects attempted to withdraw $10,000 worth of $10,000 on his business account, and then $1,000 3 separate times on personal cards, all unsuccessful, luckily. And the store manager was able to pull some footage. It looks like there was some guys that walked in there and weren't really buying any or purchasing any food or drink, and they look maybe suspicious. So detectives will further investigate that. Going forward, about 11:45 on Tuesday, April 11th, we had responsive mail at the end of Long Wharf. And officers were just on routine patrol over there. They observed him unresponsive, and he was indeed pronounced deceased. So it's just always be vigilant of people on the ground, whether it looks like they're sleeping. It's always okay to call 911 and get EMS or officers there just to, it's tough to tell if someone's sleeping or overdose, but we just want to be aware, especially with the nice weather coming up, people either sleeping outside or but, you know, if anything looks like could be suspicious or someone's in need of some services, please call. And then lastly, 5 p.m. on Saturday, April 8th, we had a larceny over at Urban Cycles. That's over on Atlantic Ave there at the corner across from Columbus Park. The manager called, he stated that it had like a drop box and they took the register out, put it in one of their other establishments. They observed the next day that it had been stolen. They pulled the footage and they seem to believe that whoever stole that was kind of close by in the area. So detectives do have some phones there, it seems, and they will investigate. Other than that, that's all. I don't want to take too much time. I know you guys are busy and a lot to cover. So if you do have any questions, we would be happy to help.
I have a quick question. I understand that there's been a movement or an interest lately in providing Narcan as an available way of trying to save people's lives who happen to overdose. Is that a thing that's happening regularly, or how can you explain a little bit more about that?
I'm not
Yeah,
sure.
so the Narcan thing, so the department wouldn't be training that. The department wouldn't do that for civilians, but I've heard of it with companies, Mark. Currently, right now, the problem with Narcan is they've now developed a drug. The users are now using a drug that Narcan is now paired with. I can't remember the name of the substance, but Narcan isn't working. And it clears the Narcan out, but this other drug remains and they're combative. But I know department-wise, we've talked about Narcan and with health and hospitals, but I don't think the city would be in the position to be training people, but I have heard of it being on premise with private businesses.
Gotcha.
I just want to say, took a walk this morning with our North End group along the water. It was chilly, but things are starting to open up. We have walking Tuesdays over in the North End for our seniors. And it was a nice little walk along the water. But as things start to open up, as Officer Champer said, you know, we want to be vigilant. We still are seeing package stuff across the district and across basically the city. If you see those packages, take them in, help be a good neighbor. Set it up so that you get those deliveries at home or at work. You know, if you can get it at work, it'd be better. We just want to take that opportunity away from people. But other than that, I look forward to the warmer weather. We got that taste on Friday, but we're both, Frank ran the marathon yesterday and I'm exhausted from working it myself. So whatever you guys need, let us know.
Excellent. Thank you as always for taking good care of us. Any other questions for either Officer Champa or Sergeant Chabet? Great.
I just have a quick question. You mentioned about someone stealing a coat or at one of the establishments, Mr. Dooley's. I noticed that so many people, particularly women, put their purses on the back of their chairs or on the side of their chairs. I mean, should we be more conscientious about doing this?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, that's old school where you had the purse. Now everyone's just got the phone with the wallet and their card. Yeah, we want to, we talk about just common sense in the sense of, you guys, we've all been around a long time and you know the right things, but don't give those people the opportunity. We are seeing, and I think I read an article nationwide. I mean, the financials are a problem right now because of all the apps that are on the phone. We want to be vigilant with our apps. You want to double secure, double lock them down. We did have a rash of cell phone theft last summer over in Faneuil Hall area where they were preying on people who were coming out of the clubs and the bars. But the Supreme Court has said this phone is basically it's an appendage to your body. Like, I'll forget my wallet and my keys, but I always have my phone, right? So the phone is an important part of our lives, and it needs to be really taken that way, where I saw somebody with that wallet the other day and their debit card was there, and it's just everything's being mindful and being I when I'm out to dinner with my wife, if I see that pocketbook situation, I will say something to like move it into the inside where no one can get it. Same thing with your coats, but yeah, financials are tough right now because it's hard to trace.
Yeah. Great, thank you again. We're going to switch gears and we're going to hear from Fedine Brown. Is that correct? And I'm going to pull up from the Boston Preservation Office. I'm going to pull up your presentation here and share that. I hope. Let's see.
Now,
Do you want us to stay seated or do you want us to go?
You should be able to be okay.
Are you comfortable being seated? Or?
Yeah.
It should follow you. Your voice. Great.
Okay,
Go right
thank
ahead.
you. So we'll try to get through this in the next 10 minutes. We want to just highlight the Community Preservation Office. As you know, was voted into office in 2016. And so we are here just to announce our new funding round. CPA has 5 funding rounds to date. And so our new funding round for 2024 is now opening. And we'd like to just kind of come out to the communities and educate folks about CPA. What has this fund money done so far to date? And so we'll highlight that this evening. Next slide. So we're going to cover the CPA program highlights, the state law, the CPA committee, the eligibility and application process, and applying for the 2024 funding round. Next slide. The CPA, we're a very small staff. We're a team of 6, and we're just hiring another individual in May. And Rakia is our new manager of engagement and operations. And we have 4 additional other staff members. Next slide. And so just to give an overview, so CPA was voted in by residents in 2016. It's a 1% surcharge on property tax. Low to moderate income homeowners are exempt. The average homeowner pays about $41 per year, but if you live closer to the city, you are paying a little bit more. A bulk of the money is coming from commercial properties. More than 20 million is collected annually, and the money can only be used in 3 areas: to create affordable housing, historic preservation, and to open space and recreation projects. And then there's a state match from all the real estate transfer fees across the state. And with that match, our pool of funds increases. So our last funding round that just wrapped up last week, we had 40 million in funding this round, and we funded 56 projects in our 2023 funding round. Next slide. And next slide, we'll talk about Rakia will go through these highlights.
Sure. So we have preserved over 100 historical buildings, sites, vessels, and artifacts, planted over 250 trees to help with Boston's tree canopy, rehabilitated and created over 80 playgrounds and recreational spaces, created urban farms and community gardens, preserved and created nearly 1,700 units of affordable housing, including home ownership units, supported housing projects for veterans, seniors, artists, individuals experiencing homelessness, and funded over 20 million to programs that support first-time home ownership and prevent displacement. Next slide, please. And to date, the Community Preservation Program has funded 293 projects. So this is including the most recent 2023 funding round, has awarded over $157 million in funding. We have supported 46 affordable housing projects, 112 open space, and 135 historic preservation projects.
And Rakia, if you go back, I just want to highlight, if you drive across the city and you see the sign, it's a construction sign that highlights, so every project that's receiving CPA funds, if you see this construction sign, it's just to highlight that project has received CPA funding. We also have, next slide, Matt, I'm sorry. Because Rakia's on this computer and you're over there too. The CPA, there's a heat map on our website. So if you want to see all the projects that were funded through the CPA program, you can click in to the website. It'll give you a full detail of the projects, a write-up, and the amount the project was funded. Next slide, please. This is a breakdown of
One
more.
of their top holdings, right?
Can you mute,
But I feel
please?
like in terms of
Can you mute, please? Thank you.
So today, as I stated, we've had the 6 funding rounds. Our latest funding round, we funded 56 projects, giving away over $40 million. We received 73 applications in the committee, over 50 million in requests, and out of those 73 applications, the committee narrowed it down to 56. So as you can see, the breakdowns from 2019, 2020, and our breakdown of how we got to the 157 million. Next slide, please.
So I'll go ahead and go over a few of our projects we covered in the downtown areas. Next slide, please. First, we have Coxville Burying Ground at the north end. We funded this twice, totaling $100,000. And this was for the conservation of the kangaroo. So the burying grounds, it's a continuation of the 2018. It was a continuation. It's being read. Next slide, please. Next, we have Langone Park in the north end, funded in 2019. It was awarded $2 million. It was to add sea level rise mitigation features to the large park renovation to prevent flooding in the north end of downtown. Next slide. Next, we have Schooner Roseway in downtown, funded 3 times, awarded $360,000. And this was to rehabilitate and restore the framing and ballast of the historic 1925 vessel, allowing it to function as an educational space for primarily underresourced students and possible. Next slide. And here I have an overview over the projects we funded, including the Knights of Columbus Senior Apartments. That was an affordable housing project. For North End, it totaled over $3 million. And downtown, we have over 1.3 million. But as you can see, it's not that many. And of course, that's given like the summer constraints, but we're also here to get more projects as well.
Oh, we can help you with that.
Next slide. I also included the West End because Wharf was going to get everything. So we have this project here funded multiple rounds, just over $500,000. Next slide. So talk a little bit about the state law. Next slide, please. So every year, CPA funds 10% has to go into each category: historic preservation, open space, and recreation, and then 5% may be spent on administrative costs. We only can cover capital projects. We can't cover maintenance or operations. So any project that comes before us needs to also be able to explain how they can do maintenance and their operations. The CPA funds only cannot cover that. Only the capital part of construction of the project. The recipient can be public, private entities, nonprofit, for-profit organizations, and we are always looking for a project that has a larger public benefit. Because within our grant agreement terms, we ask for the public benefit of the project, but also any project that we fund is a 15-year commitment to the CPA program. Unless it's an acquisition, there'll be a permanent restriction on the project. But if we fund a project with the 15 years, that you will be able to maintain and keep that site for 15 years. CPA funds can be used for acquisition, preservation, creation, preservation, rehabilitation, restoration, and support. And this map over on the other side here shows all the cities and towns that have adopted CPA to date. On the CPA Coalition website, you can see all the other cities and towns that have adopted CPA. Next slide, please.
Quick question, if I may. Can the money be used for the design and engineering of these projects as well?
It can be, but it has to have a construction component as well. We don't cover design and engineering alone. Before, we used to in the first couple years when we started, but we would like you to have design and construction be included into the project work that you are doing.
May I interject one other question?
Yeah.
I'm Matthew, Boston Harbor City Cruises, and harkening back to your CPA heat map.
Mm-hmm.
A problem, everyone in this room, well, I'm a broken record here, they've heard this before, but Long Wharf has no shade for the thousands and thousands of people who line up to take whale watches, historic sightseeing cruises, ferries to East Boston, Salem, etc. And it's something that we have really struggled with. I wonder if this is a possible avenue for either us to take or for the BPDA to take. I mean, we operate on BPDA property, although we've been residents there, operating there since 1968.
Yeah.
So anyway, it's a real need.
So
in
creating
terms
a
of
shade
public health,
structure, creating a shade structure.
various shade structures along the wharf.
Yeah. So we have actually on Judges Island done a shade structure project. And so as long as it's a permanent shade structure feature, it is something potentially that we can do because it's considered an open space. And so since BPDA is the landowner, BPDA would need to give you permission in letter of authorization to allow you to apply for CPA funds. And then a decision needs to be made if BPA will take the funds and do the work, or will they allow your organization to take the funds and do the work for that project. And so again, if it's approved by the committee, because all the projects applications that come before the committee, it's not a guarantee.
Right.
But when it is on city-owned land, there is a letter of authorization that you have to work with that city department in order to get permission to do the work.
Are you going to cover the grant application process a little bit?
Yes.
Great, sure. Thank you.
Great. You're welcome. And so just to highlight what some of the things we don't cover, as I said, maintenance, we don't cover interior work, only exterior work on historical buildings. We made a policy decision on that. We don't cover any religious iconography because we do cover a lot of churches. So we focus on maybe their roof, masonry work, entrance, ADA accessibility, but we only focus on the exterior. No acquisition for artificial turf, athletic fields, that's clearly stated in the CPA statute. No horse or dog racing or use of land for stadium, gymnasium, or similar features. That's also stated in the CPA statute. So, I mean, it's basically our funds it has to be used for a public benefit, a bigger public purpose. So if we are funding a historical building or a historical church, what goes on inside that building that's serving the larger community? Are you hosting AA meetings, community meetings? Are you hosting art classes for the youth? So what is that other bigger public benefit? That's what the committee is always kind of looking for. Next slide, please. And here to talk about the CPA committee. So the committee consists of 5 individuals that are appointed by the mayor. That sits on board and commissions, and the other 4 individuals are appointed by the city council. And so these 9 members make up this community preservation committee. The mayor's role is she appoints the 5 members from specific boards and commission. The mayor also reviews the CPA slated projects. The city council appoints the 4 members, residents of the city of Boston. We actually just finished an application round. We received 52 applicants that are applying for the 4 seats. Currently. And so the city council makes the final decision to fund the CPA projects. And the CPA committee creates an annual plan and approves the yearly budget. They review all the project proposals and makes the funding recommendations to the mayor and the city council. And we, the CPA staff, we manage the CPA program. We assist the CPA committee, and we work closely with the mayor and applicants and the city council. And so our role is just to really engage and tell folks about the program, but we also monitor the 293 projects that are funded. And so every project that is funded, they have 2 years to finish the work. So we are monitoring to ensure that they are meeting all the timelines and deadlines. So I'll go a little quickly because I don't want to take up too much.
Well, wait a second, your job is to give away a whole bunch of money, right?
Something like that.
Awesome job.
We do have a new community preservation plan on our website. I encourage you to visit our website and read through the plan. It has a really great guidelines of how it's what we're aligning for the next 5 years. You can skip through the next few slides. So the CPA process. So again, for allowable uses for affordable housing, these are some photos of some of the things that we cover. We have funded a first-time home buyers program. We've given over 12 million to that for folks to be able to become first-time home owners. We have funded an anti-displacement program that allows to save like a building from being sold so residents can be able to stay inside their homes. We help buy down the affordability in new rental units that are being built. So if I see a development is being built with 100%, 120% AMI, our funds is used to buy down some of those units to make them 60, 80, 70% AMI to make them more affordable to low and moderate income homeowners. And so it lists all the allowable uses that CPA funds can be used for. Next slide. And so for historic preservations, these are some photos of some of the things that we have covered: buildings, structures, vessels, properties, documents, and artifacts. And so again, for historic preservation, these are the acquisition, rehabilitation, restoration, and really focusing on the exterior of buildings. Next slide, please. And so for open space and recreation, we have funded community gardens, pond frontage, tree planting. We've planted a lot of trees, and we love to plant trees to help with Boston's tree canopy. And we've done conservation land, we've done playgrounds, we've done, basketball courts and athletic fields. We've done quite a few BPS playgrounds in a lot of underserved neighborhoods. And again, this is the list of all the allowable uses under for CPA. And next slide. And so step 1, 2, 3, 4, I could just talk about those quickly. If folks are interested in applying for CPA funds, you would really contact the CPA staff, there's an eligibility determination form that you would need to submit. Based on reviewing your eligibility determination form, the staff will follow up, do a site visit, have a detailed conversation, and you will be invited in to do an application. And once you receive that invite, we usually invite folks in October. You have about 6 weeks to complete the application. It then goes before the committee in December, and then December through the second week in February, the committee reviews, have public meetings, so folks can attend the public meetings, and they recommend the slate of projects by February. And so that's really how the full process works for folks that want to apply. But throughout the summer, we are having information sessions, virtual and in person. So folks, we kind of run through this whole presentation and educate folks about the CPA process, so folks can continue to join and learn more about CPA. And then I think the next slide is one more. So again, we have a how to apply page on our website. If you go back one more, we have a how to apply page on our website. You can read through that as well. Our eligibility determination packet is really full with all the details that you need. And then the next slide just covers kind of the grant agreement and the 15-year terms. And then here are the emails to all the staff. And so I'll take any questions that folks may have. I know we covered a lot of information.
Wow. Very well done. Wow.
Yeah.
Clear too.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So the Wharf District is engaged in a major sea level rise resilience effort, of which there's a component is going to be redoing the Harbor Walk and creating new public space. And so I can well imagine it would be worthwhile talking with you about getting some support. It is a long-term plan, obviously, because it's almost all on private property, but some of it is on city land. But it's essential to protecting Boston and the billions of dollars that are on this side of the property. So we'll have a chat.
Sure. We'll love to have that conversation. If CPA funds can be used to help create the open space or rehabilitate spaces, that's what our funds are here for.
Yeah. Well, and in any case, what a wonderful, wonderful program.
Thank you.
Sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm asking this purely out of my curiosity. I've heard of historic preservation, but is the terminology community preservation, is that something that's changed, or the nomenclature is different?
Yeah, so community preservation is, the Community Preservation Act, Chapter 44B is what it was called by the state. And so it's pretty much preserving community, preserving the housing, preserving historic buildings and open space and recreation. So, and then there is the historic preservation for the historic buildings themselves that we are trying to preserve, which is what kind of was one of the main things that drove this law as well. Is kind of because Boston is so historical, and there's not a lot of grant programs out there that do help with historical buildings. And so this has been a game changer for a lot of historical buildings, for sure.
I like the emphasis on community as well as historic.
Absolutely.
It's great to tie those together.
Yeah.
We have some old historic streets in the financial section of the Wharf District, which I think get overlooked. And I don't think even we don't really focus on them the way we should. And I'm concerned that at some point they will be so neglected that they'll just disappear because people don't realize they're the gems that they are.
Yeah.
Is there anything that your group does that helps the community and know if these streets are something?
So yeah, we can talk to Public Works, and that's where it does get a little tricky, because some of the maintenance of sidewalks and streets get a little tricky because they fall under maintenance. It's kind of if they're owned by the city or if they're private ways. Technically, is the community folks are responsible for maintaining that private way, but we would need to know more information and talk to Public Works because we haven't done any streets or sidewalks yet, but that conversation has been brought to us before, but we just haven't had a project to pursue it. So it's a possibility, I would say.
But that's what your eligibility
Exactly.
review is all about. Right?
Exactly. It gives us, it allows us to see and talk to our legal counsel, so we won't get really tied up with the project, so we can be able to say if it's a yes or a no before it goes before the committee. Yeah. So the eligibility form is a great tool that we have.
Great. Wonderful. Any other questions for Thadeen or Rakia? Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I very much hope we have a chance to chat some more with you about some thoughts that we have, which is why you're here.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you both.
We are looking for a presentation from Jason Perillo, is that right? About the Gordon Ramsay burger sign, is that?
Yes,
Yeah.
that's correct. Good evening. I'm Jason Perillo with Sterling Sign Systems.
Great. Thank you.
Would you like me to share my screen so I can show you the sign?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay. So we are going to the Board of Appeals for this sign for Gordon Ramsay Burger. The sign is proposed to be installed on the Hanover Street facing wall of the restaurant. The restaurant has already been granted a sign that is on Atlantic Ave where the entrance is. And we are asking for this sign facing Hanover Street just to increase visibility and identification for the restaurant. The sign is subtly illuminated. It is a black aluminum sign that has the lettering and the red logo accent is pushed through the black aluminum background. So only the lettering and that red you see will illuminate. The background would be black. I can also just show you the signs that were permitted by right. And like I said, these signs would be on the Atlantic Avenue facing side. This sign here would be over the entrance, and this is a projection sign. So the sign that we are here tonight seeking your comments and hopefully your approval for would be this sign that is facing Hanover Street. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Jason, why do you need a variance?
The restaurant went through an approval process with the BPDA, and the BPDA did not want to approve this sign.
Why not?
I believe they thought that the two signs that were facing Atlantic Ave were adequate. But the restaurant feels that this sign is also really essential because if you're approaching the restaurant from the north, you may not see those other signs. And this sign will also get a lot more vehicular traffic identification. So that's why we're asking for this sign. It's a large restaurant and we feel like this wouldn't be too many signs or clutter the facade in any way.
Do you have a picture of the Atlantic Avenue side with those signs?
Yes, I do. I can show you those right now. Let me just. Okay, these are the, do you see
We're
the?
still seeing the other one. Yeah. You have to unshare and reshare.
Oh, okay, sorry. New share. All right. Here we are. Okay, you see that?
Yes.
Okay, so they were approved this sign here, which is over the entrance on Atlantic Ave, but it's tucked in a little bit over the indented entranceway. And then they were also approved for a projection sign, which is also on Atlantic Ave, but it's much further down from Hanover Street. So
I'm going to
this
ask a dumb question. Where is the restaurant located?
That's my question.
Yeah, that is a good question. Technically, the location is 99 Blackstone, but it's really on the corner of Hanover and Atlantic Ave. And I believe there's a new hotel above it.
Oh, Canopy.
Well,
Yes, yes.
I mean, Suzanne, can you explain why we're reviewing this? Because it's not in the Wharf district.
No, it's in an area that does not have a neighborhood associated with it. And they being neighborhood services asked if we would comment on this. We don't have to comment on it. We can just say we don't. But I said I would bring it before.
Yes, what Suzanne said, my office just like asked the neighborhood input, and you guys are the closest civic group because it doesn't reach the north end ones necessarily. So it's in like an unclaimed neighborhood kind of.
We've done this before.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, Suzanne. Sorry.
No problem. Glad you made that clear.
Well, I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but if it was in the Wharf district, I think that we would not approve it because of the size. This is a very large illuminated sign. It's 15 feet long and 3.5 feet high. But I don't know if anybody else has any particular perspective on this that they feel differently about. I just don't have a very good feel for who's going to be staring at it in terms of neighbors.
Well, there really aren't any neighbors. It's in that area around here.
Well, it will be facing the Boston Public Market. Is that correct?
Correct.
Right there.
So if you're going into the Boston Public Market, that's where the sign will be pointing toward.
Yes.
Okay, so what we do, Jason, is we take questions now from anybody who is interested in sharing their view. And then at the end of the meeting, we adjourn to executive session where the members have a chance to vote on the application and respond to what you presented. So I do see that Fernando has a question. So Fernando.
Hi, everyone. So my only question is if that sign's so important to the business, why do you guys have the other two and not that one instead?
Well, this obviously, we need a sign over the entrance to guide people to the entrance to the restaurant. This sign that we're here for your approval for is not over the entrance. It's on the side of the building to identify the restaurant better. And the blade sign is much further down on Atlantic Ave. So this sign is meant to just identify the restaurant and guide people to where the restaurant is when you're approaching from the north.
Now that sign is above a window of the restaurant?
Yes.
Okay, so when you're approaching from the north, you will see the blade sign, correct?
You would see it, but it wouldn't necessarily be legible because it's here. It's much further down.
Mhm.
Especially like, you know, if you're in a car and you're moving, you know, you wouldn't necessarily see it. This is the floor plan for the restaurant. It's kind of like a triangle floor plan.
How many seats in this restaurant?
I would have to get you that information. It's
Just the one level?
yeah, I don't have that information. I mean, you know, I could just guess from what we have on this floor plan.
But it's only this floor plan.
Yes.
It's not a very big restaurant. So it's 60 seats. Yeah. Okay.
Question.
Yes, please, Matthew.
Hi, this is Matthew. And is your restaurant a part of a larger building that has, I don't know, given their approval or blessing to you seeking this approval?
Oh, yeah. Oh, absolutely. We have an approval from the landlord to seek this variance.
Okay, other questions? Oh, great. Jason, thank you for your presentation, and we will have a discussion afterwards, since I don't see any other questions at the moment. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much for your consideration. Have a great night.
And I'll get back to you tomorrow. with
Yeah.
the decision.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. You can unshare.
Bye.
Let's see, Chris Cook.
Chris Cook, I told him.
He's
he
up.
had
That's
to-
all right. I'm here, Suzanne.
Okay,
Go right ahead, Chris. Are you sharing something also, or are you?
I am, please. Thank you.
Go right ahead.
Mark, what's your preferred, how much time do you want me to talk for?
Well, let's see, you cover what you need to, but we also want to, I'd say you have about 10 minutes.
You got it. Perfect. All right. So first off, thank you to everyone for letting me speak tonight. We're very grateful to the Wharf District Council for all the support. I'm going to go through the highlights of the Wharf District Council programming, or rather the Greenway programming that's happening in the Wharf District. But this is an exciting year. You know, last year we were back up to 340 programs and markets. We think we're going to eclipse that number park-wide this year. So we're going back to pre-pandemic levels of programming. And that's just incredibly exciting for the park. A lot of the good ideas that came from our programming changes actually came from this group. So I'll try to highlight those as I go through, but again, incredibly grateful to present tonight and incredibly grateful for the collaboration. You know, we'll send along these hours later, but it's great to see the carousel spinning. If you haven't looked at it up close recently, you really should, because it went through nearly a $200,000 character renovation. So all the characters have been touched up and they look absolutely amazing. And I will remind folks that the carousel is available for birthday parties. It's a pretty unique experience and it's pretty wonderful location to celebrate with friends and families. I think people probably noticed, especially on the really, really beautiful 90-degree Friday where it was absolutely packed. Trillium is back open. We're excited about that. We're excited about their hours. Looking forward to collaborating with Wharf District, especially after the volunteer program. I believe Suzanne's going to have people gathering there again, I hope, with pizza. So like, you know, just an incredibly, it's, you know, we realize that this park is in a community, not the other way around. So the fact that, you know, you support this major activity of the beer garden, which is so important to our bottom line and our revenue, we're incredibly grateful for, and we recognize that it happens in your community. We try as best of our ability to make it look like a community asset. This is one of the collaborations that I want to highlight that, you know, our artisan market last year was so successful that we've on input from Wharf District and from our board members, we actually expanded our partnership with Somerville Flea to have it both Saturdays and Sundays. It's just an incredible experience. It really feels alive. These are all small, independent, creative business owners, highly local. And then in addition, we're going to have 2 Friday night markets. So we had one last year. It was a huge success. And the response was, why isn't this here every Friday? We're not ready to scale up yet, but we're going to try out those 2 Friday nights and see if people really respond positively to it. But it, felt very exciting in the city to have this all activated. And, I just got to highlight the horticulture in this picture because I just cannot wait for all of these plants to fill in. It's amazing how quickly the park transforms over these next 1 or 2 months. And of course, our food trucks are back to a relatively full schedule. We're not back to pre-pandemic numbers, but we have 18 different food trucks operating in the park. We will get the finalized schedule to you all for the Wharf district. But the big call out here is that the food truck festival itself will be on May. It is the fact that High Street is going to be fully active again. And what I want to call out is of the 18 food trucks, 16 of the 18 are LGBTQ women or minority owned businesses. So this is an incredible opportunity to expand opportunity with the food truck. I want to highlight our partnership with Bagley and the fact that we host Youth Pride right here in Rose Wharf. I mean, it's just really amazing when I think about all the climate resiliency planning that the Wharf District Council is doing and how you're centering equity as part of that. A part of that is, the festivals that choose to be on the Greenway and specifically choose to be in your district. You were all doing a wonderful job of welcoming these communities to this open space along the waterfront that reconnects these neighborhoods. So we're so excited about Boston Youth Pride returning for, I think this will be the 4th year in a row. It's a great partnership we have with Bagley. Just down the street, we have the Boston Public Market. It's an incredible partnership with Cheryl and her entire team. It has a new day, Tuesdays, 11 to 6, starting June 6th, and they're going to have more vendors this year than they had in years past. It was hard to get vendors out there during the pandemic recovery, but we're excited about that program and that partnership. Also in June, I mean, you can't forget this one. We hope to see everybody out there. Gala on the Greenway. I'm going to move to the floor plan though, because I want to show folks. We got some input from the Wharf District Council last year about there was some problems moving folks along the sidewalk. So we are going to have better signage this year to make sure both the public and our guests are having a really full and exciting experience at the Greenway Gala. So, if you haven't got your tickets, they're not on sale to the general public, but for our special friends in the Wharf District, we can certainly make sure that everyone who wants tickets can get tickets to the gala. Glow in the Park, which is, and I don't know if Jenny or Luz are in the room, but Jenny and Luz are doing an amazing job on the Glow in the Park event. That is our young professionals event that happens the night after the gala in the tent. So we really try to maximize that space as much as possible. That'll be from 7:30 to 10:30 on June 9th. We're excited about that. It features a live band. So if you know any young professionals who want to be connected to the Greenway, want to be connected to other people in downtown Boston, please connect them to us and we'll make sure that they have all the information about the park. But for both those events, we're still, we're always actively looking for sponsors. So if you know of businesses who want to be connected to great neighborhoods and want to be seen as supporting great neighborhoods like yourselves, please let me know. And I know there are some sponsors on this call, and so I'm very grateful to that support. I want to highlight, even though this picture is of the Chinatown Gate, it shows an amazing partnership we have with the Boston Music Project. And so the Boston Music Project block party is going to be on June 10th at Rose Wharf Plaza. It highlights this amazing opportunity to expand musical opportunities for kids. It's an incredible organization doing wonderful work in our city, and we're so excited to celebrate it on June 10th at Rose Wharf Plaza. So you have, beautiful, cute kids like this playing instruments right in your neighborhood. This is the first annual Beantown Bean Fest. We said yes to this festival and it's taken on a life of its own. The organizers have an amazing lineup of performers and food opportunities that are going to be happening. So it's going to be right across from the Boston Harbor Hotel. The organizers are very excited about it. We'll see how it goes. And of course, because it is the first Beantown Bean Fest. We will check in immediately with Suzanne and with everybody else at the Wharf District Council to see how it went and see whether or not it should return. But so far, the planning has been going absolutely fantastic for it. They are going to highlight everything bean. So, you know, and
May I ask a question?
Yes.
What is a bean fest?
Yeah, so I think they're going to highlight everything related to beans, but that is a loose theme, and it's more just that is a more celebratory theme to raise funds for the nonprofit that's organizing. An incredible partnership, ongoing partnership. Just doing a time check here. I have about 1 minute 30 left. Just an incredible partnership that we have with Coolidge on the Greenway. Our June date is to be TBD still. But we can't wait to have you all out there enjoying movies. This is just a magical night when it happens on the Greenway. Of course, the Caribbean Festival returning. This has been a huge success, and we've, you know, this is again highlighting the collaboration between the Wharf District Council. This is an example of an event where we had to work on some of the sound levels over the past couple of years. That's gone incredibly well, and so it's really found a home on the Greenway, and just makes the Greenway and the waterfront and downtown Boston so welcoming to all of our different neighborhoods. Boston Lyric Opera Street Stage in August 11th and 12th. I'm going to blow through August a little bit quicker into September. 9/11 Memorial Event, September 11th. A lot of you volunteer on this day. It's an incredible partnership we have with Mass Fallen Heroes. It's an incredibly, you know, usually the governor or the mayor stop by the event and offer a few words. It's really, really meaningful and very, very impactful. Boston Local Food Festival on September 17th. Just amazing. If anyone hasn't been to this, it's been incredible. And then the last thing I'll leave you with is I want to highlight our incredible dance program that we have coming up called the Momentum Greenway Dance Program. It's presented by Amazon. It also has support from the Greenway bid that's run by A Better City. You know, last year at the gala, we highlighted a dance company that had created a piece unique to the Greenway. We have 4 different diverse dance groups. That's my timer. We have 4 different diverse dance groups that are creating pieces that are environmentally responsive and choreographed around different parts of the Greenway in their history. They'll be rehearsing those dances in the park and then performing them, culminating in one large dance festival where all 4 dance companies will be performing all 4 dances on October 7th on the same day. It's just going to be an incredible experience. It's going to be a great journey. So if you see people just dancing in the Greenway, they could be professionals. So I'll leave your judgment calls on whether or not they look like professionals. You know, we'll leave those judgments aside, but if you see people dancing in the Greenway, it could very well be part of their iterative development process of those dances. So you don't have to memorize all of this. I have a very nice PDF of all the list of all these events for the Wharf District Council. I'm going to send that to Suzanne right now, but happy to answer any questions. But as you can see, it's a really, really busy schedule. And we do recognize that this park is adjacent to your homes. And so as impacts, develop, most of you chose to live here and you're excited about a full and active Greenway. But if there are any impacts from any of these large events, feel free to reach out to me. But we're so excited to see the Greenway coming back to a more fully realized of itself. It's just really wonderful. So thank you all.
Yeah. What a great lineup, Chris. That is just unbelievable.
And that's just the programming, Mark. You know, obviously we have the full public art program too, which, you know, at a later date, we'd love to have Audrey Lopez, our curator of public art, to come visit you and talk about the public art program.
We feel very lucky to live and work here. Questions for Chris? We'll certainly get all that information published on our website, as well as referring those who visit our social media to the Greenway's website as well. Appreciate that. Any other questions? Great, Chris, well done. Congratulations and thank you.
Oh, thanks everybody. See you soon. Bye-bye.
Yeah, great.
Bye.
See you, Chris. Okay, so we're going to ask Sean Ford.
Okay, we'll do Sean first.
Yeah, because Sean's got to go. If we can just jump to that for a second. Sean, you want to tell us about?
Well, Mark, do I get to say the amazing Sean Ford, my good friend? You know, and the curator and protector of American history, Sean Ford. How's that?
Thank you, Chris. You
I didn't know I was
still-
gonna pass it off to a legend.
You still owe me money, Chris. Thank you very much. Did Matthew give you our web?
Can you let them know the website?
Oh, yeah.
What do you want?
On the website? If you go to 250 Boston Tea Party,
250.
TH,
Part of that
Boston Tea Party.
Party that says they're the party.
Yeah.
Hit that.
Into
And go to the website.
Reenactment, 250th. Let me
The video.
share.
Go to the website.
See, the website is there. Is that the one? No, sorry. Where are we?
Science, and I believe listening to people who are smarter than me.
Right.
I'm not.
Hang on, everybody. We're just getting queued up.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the one. All right, I'll tell you in just a second. Sorry about that, folks, but we're good to go. Hi, my name is Sean Ford. I'm with the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum, and we're gearing up for our 250th anniversary this December 16th. Two things I want to say is it's very important to know that the reenactment this year and the 250th has nothing to do with the Boston Tea Party Ships Museum. It has everything to do with the significance of the date, the people involved, and the significance of how this story is told today and around the world. So it's about the 250th. Everything about the 250th, all the programming is free and open to the public. We've been working on this for over 2 years. In fact, Chris Cook sits on our board of advisors, as does Stephen Johnston and a lot of other people. So we're gonna watch the video and then I'm gonna highlight 4 programs we're doing and then we'll take a Q&A. Take it away, sure, click that button.
35 pregnant.
Wait, Mark, can you please mute Leanne's iPad?
Yeah.
Sorry, hang on. Sorry, what was the question?
The question is, can you please, oh, okay, Leanne muted her iPad. We're good now.
And get started again.
Okay, I'm not sure that I am getting, I don't know, let's see. This is playing off my machine. And so I need to mute this. Hang on. I need to mute.
There's no sound, Mark.
That working?
Nope. Probably need to share the sound on the Zoom.
I am. representation once Apologies. Well, we're not going to get this done. Now what? There we go. What is your preference?
That.
I can.
If you go to audio settings, I think you can change it.
Where?
I would stop sharing your screen. It's like on the Zoom at the bottom.
Okay. Why is that doing that? Okay. More.
Team assistance. You can try that. So that seems.
Yes.
Wait, so.
Why is?
Because I think we're.
That, okay, go ahead.
Boston, city upon a hill.
Can you hear that?
City of culture. Art,
I think they're not here. You're not hearing this, right? Norm?
No, not hearing it.
We can't hear it either.
Oh, I'm so sorry, I'm not ID.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think we're going to get the sound.
Okay,
If you just put the link in the chat, we can take 3 minutes and watch it themselves.
yeah. I'll tell them that with the website, they can watch it at their leisure.
There you go.
If they want to do that. Okay, and if this is.
Like it's off?
Yeah, you can shut it off. All right, sorry, folks. If you have a pen handy, if you want to watch that video at your leisure. 250th, that's 250th 250th Boston Tea Party. And then you're gonna see all scrolling down, and scroll down to video December 16th. It's about a 3-minute piece. It's a fantastic video that says everything we've been working on, we're going to do. So now, unfortunately, you're gonna have to listen to me speak, and I don't have music, and I'm not gonna sing and dance. So I'm gonna highlight.
I was looking forward to that part.
Like I said, the big day is December 16th, and we're expecting tens and tens of thousands of people. This event is free and open to the public. We are working with the White House. We're working with the royal family for a lot of surprises that are going to happen on December 16th. Now, that being said, I just want to highlight 4 programs that we're working on before we get to December 16th. One is we're finishing up our grave marker program, and what that is, there are over 145 known participants of the Boston Tea Party, and we have managed to place 135 grave markers at over the last 2 years to participants of the Boston Tea Party. I worked with Chris Cook when he with the city in a different capacity, and it really is a great honor to identify these people about being a participant, because the participants of the Tea Party took their names to their grave. They took an oath of secrecy on the night of the Tea Party. We were still British. We tried for treason. Nobody knew about the participants until about 54 years later. So we have about 8 markers left to go. We're doing one in Marblehead this weekend, and then we leave the 1st of May. We're going out to Ohio. We're going out to Michigan. We're going to Pennsylvania. We're going to Maryland. And the last 2 grave markers we're going to place is going to be this fall in Dublin, Ireland, and in Paris, France. So we're going over there to place those, and then we're placing the final marker as a place of honor in Boston on December 16th at Sam Adams' gravesite. He was the father of revolution and the propagator of this. He wasn't a participant, but he orchestrated it. So December 16th, he gets a marker. Another program we've just started and launched is the Descendants Program. We're working with the New England Genealogical Society and identifying participants, descendants of the Tea Party. We're modeling it after the Mayflower Descendants Program. Now, the Mayflower had 26 families, 54 people on that first voyage. Today, there are 2.5 million descendants from that voyage. Tea Party has 145. You do the math. We think there's about 7 million descendants of the Tea Party. Another program we're working on with the school systems in Boston and the state of Massachusetts for students to write essays, create artwork, write poems, write music. And these essays and artwork are going to live on a virtual website on the 250th teaparty.org site, and that's going to be made public as these start coming in. We've just wrapped up our Phyllis Wheatley project behind the scenes. We're doing the portraits of Phyllis Wheatley when she was a little girl to when she published her book. And we, at the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum, we have acquired an original copy of the Phyllis Wheatley book. Why is that so important? The Dartmouth, one of the ships that was involved in the Tea Party, there were 3 ships, the Eleanor, the Dartmouth, and the Brig Beaver. Phyllis Wheatley's book, the first African-American published author, wrote this book. It came from London because no one in the colonies published the book. It was stored on the Dartmouth, on the Tea Party ships, and brought here to Boston. So that is the connection. And we're going to be working on a location to display this through the course of the end of the year. And was that 4? Is that total 4? I lost count. I totally speak 4. It was a 4. So those are the 4 things. And in between there, Harbor Fest is all themed Boston Tea Party. We're having a speaker series. We have webinars every month. And in September, we're going over to London with the East India Tea Company to have a huge press conference over there on September 27th. And the significance of that date, that's when the tea ships left London to come over here to Boston. And that press conference is at the Intercontinental Hotel at a place where the East India docks used to be 250 years ago when the tea ships left from the Intercontinental Hotel. And guess where the Tea Party happened? At the same location at the Intercontinental Hotel here in Boston. And we're having a lot of receptions over there as well. So that's it in a nutshell. Everything's 250 all year. And I want to
Does the
thank
East India Tea Company still exist?
East India Tea Company still exists.
Wow.
Absolutely. It's a smaller company than it used to be. And the East India Company, what they're doing, they're donating 250 pounds of tea on the 27th of September. And we're going to be bringing that over, going through customs and bringing it back over to the Tea Party. And that tea will be thrown overboard on December 16th. So it's a great story. And there's so many other behind the scenes and things that are going on. And please, I encourage you to go on that website, look at the video. It's pretty amazing. It's a collaboration through state, city, public, private, hospitality, communities. And it couldn't happen without a lot of our board of advisors and 2 years of work already behind the scenes. Any questions?
We can put that on our website.
Yeah, we'll link,
Oh, please,
we'll make it
yeah.
a point to link to it, and also our social media guru over here, Doug, is gonna make sure that it gets referenced as well.
Oh, one other thing, tomorrow it is actual Patriots Day, the 19th. We have the Patriots cheerleaders, and Pat the Patriot coming to the Tea Party to throw tea overboard. We're doing some photo ops. The cheerleaders are going to do a tea tasting, and we're going to go on the balcony with a lot of the character actors proclaiming, another 250th celebration. So that's tomorrow.
Fantastic. The website that I have listed on the is BostonTeaParty250.org. That's another way to get to that.
You're gonna do Boston Tea Party 250 Boston Tea Party, December 16th, 1973. It'll all link to that site.
Yeah, December16.org.
Excellent, great. Well.
Thank you, Chris.
Make sure that any of your visitors get taken to the Tea Party Ships and Museum, because it is a fantastic experience. They learn a ton.
The reason why Mr. Mark Margulies is saying what a wonderful attraction is, Mark and his partner Dan Peruzzi were the architects to build the Boston Tea Party Ships and Museum. So thank you.
That part, it's a great experience. It really is. Thank you very much, Sean, and great luck. And we look forward to seeing all those folks that you attract to our area, and who will then go take a boat ride and go wander around the aquarium and all those.
One last thing I gotta say.
Please.
Huzzah!
Huzzah! Right, absolutely. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sean.
Sheila, sorry to have bumped you, but what are you sharing with us? Oh, yes, of course, our volunteer day, right?
You never asked if anybody had any questions.
So, anybody, I'm sorry, anybody else? I'm sorry, hang on, Sheila. Any questions? So well done.
Thank you.
You'll have questions once you watch the movie, which I failed
Yes,
to be
please
able
do.
to do, and I apologize for that. Sheila, yes.
Actually, that event just sounds fascinating, by the way. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Gosh. We are preparing again for our volunteer day. Suzanne, remind me when it is?
It is June 15th.
June 15th. Thank you very much. We'll be getting out invitations in the next couple of weeks. Please remember to RSVP so we don't continue to bother you. We're very excited. I think this year is going to be a pretty good. Oh, thank you.
There we go. Oh, yeah.
We've had great times before, good weather, and again this year we will be having wonderful pizza, which of course we will enjoy beer with. So stay tuned for information, and please sign up, bring your friends, your colleagues. Will be a great time.
Great. Thank you very much. Any questions about volunteering?
Yeah, everyone, please do.
Yeah, good. Let's see. Quick updates. Our climate resilience task force is closing in on the first phase of our report, and we expect to have something or other toward the end of May to share with everybody. It's coming along really well. My understanding is that from a email from Cheryl Del Greco is that they are proceeding with, and that the North End is proceeding with their version of what we've done.
Yes.
You know more about that?
I do not know, other than they're having their first meeting next couple of weeks, which we're invited to.
Okay, yes. And apparently they're going to be working with Arab also, the engineers that we have been working with so successfully. And so I think that coordination with our neighbors on all sides will be important to the success of our the long-term success of what we're trying to accomplish. So stay tuned for the larger presentation that the task force will have. We have a new restaurant in the neighborhood, Flavor Boom, I think it is,
not Bloom.
I think it's Boom. And next time, Jim Towell is going to talk to us and offer special opportunities to at least.
Somebody gave me this. I can't remember who it was. Was it you?
Yeah.
Oh.
And he also wrote us. We did speak with Councilman Flynn and a number of the other councilors about our concern about the State Street and Milk Street bike lane plans that the city has, and we're hoping that conversation will continue, but we don't have an update on that.
No. And
Go ahead.
nothing on redistricting.
Yeah, well, I think we all know that the redistricting is in some sort of legal limbo. But I don't think that there's any role that we have in particular to play.
No, nothing.
Other questions, thoughts, things that people want to share before we go into our executive session?
Mark, this is Norm.
Please.
I think last time when we were on and Councilor Flynn was there, somebody in the group brought up the lights, the timing of the lights on India Street and basically in front of Panera Bread, the streets there. And months ago, they were in sync and everything flowed, and now they're out of sync and they're not flowing. But in that conversation, it got kind of garbled. And I think the message that Councilor Flynn took away is that we need better enforcement of blocking the box. But that wasn't the message. The message was the timing and those lights should go back to where they were, because it is definitely clogging that side of the Greenway.
I think that's a message to Suzanne to either to shoot the counselor's office a note. And I don't know if Ciara is still on. I don't see that she is.
Yes.
Oh, there you are. Great. So from the horse's mouth, you're hearing that the neighbors have a concern about the timing on the lights, if that's something or that you can help move along.
Yeah, could you send me an email, Norman? I can flag that for BTD and start a conversation. I'll
Happy
put
to
it
do it.
on the chat.
Okay, thank you.
Great.
Sometimes they change the timing to go along with the traffic situation. I'm wondering if that could be this.
No, now it's permanent in a bad way.
Permanent in a bad way.
Permanent in a bad way.
That's a good way of putting it.
Yeah. Thank you for that, Norm.
Yep.
Other comments, anybody? Okay. Thank you all very much for joining us. I'm going to stop the recording, and this concludes the regular part of the meeting, and I would ask for just Wharf District Council official members to stay on for our discussion about the signage. Have a good one. See you on
May 16th.
May 16th.
I'm filling in for Neil today. He's traveling.
Right. Thanks. Okay. What do people think about the sign that has been presented to for the Gordon Ramsay?
The BPDA voted that I don't know that they voted, but they said no sign.
Right.
And so they're in for a variance so that they could get a sign there. And there is no community around that sign. And the North End will deal with anything that's not within the North End. They've asked us, since we've done this before, if we could represent the community.
So I'll tell you, I was walking from the public market back up Atlantic yesterday, and I just noticed the restaurant for the first sign. The sign that's over Atlantic is quite prominent. He's not barely representing how difficult it is to see. It's quite prominent, sticking out over the side of the road. I'm a little bit surprised they actually were able to do that, because that's a sign in the middle of the, extending out into the Greenway. But to your point, Mark, a 15-foot, 3-foot bright red and black sign, it's like a billboard. I'm not sure it's something we want there.
Yeah.
And it's illuminated, and I think it's a bad precedent. We have sign ordinances that talk about what can be illuminated and how big they can be, and they're very specific. And sometimes small variations are permissible for a variety of reasons, but I do not see that personally as a small deviation from the regulations.
No, and as Matt points out, it's not necessary. You can see the Gordon Ramsay sign.
It's also not a very big restaurant.
Right.
3 signs for that little restaurant is I think, overkill.
Yeah,
It's a brand building for Gordon.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it sounds like overkill. I don't know how many signs one building can have for a restaurant that's 1 floor. So, yeah,
Anybody else?
Yeah.
I personally haven't walked by there. I wish I could actually see. I had a hard time visualizing which way it's facing. So is it facing the Greenway on the end of the building or?
Yes.
The sign he's talking about?
No,
Yeah.
the sign he's talking about is facing the public market.
Yeah, and on the street, and across the street from that is the Boston Public Market.
Right, okay.
Which is that narrow end of the triangle.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
I guess the only question that I would raise is, would we entertain a sign that is smaller than that giant sign, and one that is, I don't know, there's just less.
That's not our role.
Right. So my feeling, my position is we shouldn't entertain anything that the BPDA already rejected.
Well, certainly unless we
In this
feel
case.
strongly that it's a great idea.
Right. Mhm.
Yeah.
And given it's not in our neighborhood, maybe the right answer is that we respond that we take no position on it.
Well,
They're not looking for a vote though, right? They're just looking for feedback. Is that
They're
true?
looking for a letter of support or no support.
They are looking for a vote then,
Yes.
even though we have no jurisdiction. so to speak.
It's,
they have asked us to take the jurisdiction.
that's correct. There's no legal standing in this. It seems to me that if it's near our community, we should take a position.
They've asked, the city has asked to. All right, so we can take no position, we can support it, or we can not support it. All those in favor of taking no position, raise their hand. We have 3 here. All those in favor of supporting it, raise their hand. Joanne, Judy, and Fernando, you're going to have to do this electronically because I can't see your hands. All those in favor of not supporting it, raise their hand. 1, 2,
Not
3,
support it.
5. You do or don't? Sorry.
I do not.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We have 7 not supporting it. Do those who taking no position want to talk about it more?
No, I don't feel strongly that way.
Same, I don't feel like I would have a strong position either way.
So
It's not impacting directly any neighbors in the area. It's not, in terms of the light. So it's mitigated by the sense that there's really no residential impact from the lighting around that area. It's all commercial anyway. If it's bigger than it should be, and the BPDA says no, I don't see. I don't see it strongly either way.
Yeah, and the weekends is probably hidden by the push cart activities that are there.
I also, just speaking from a business standpoint, he has these windows. They could hang inside, signage inside the windows that could show out as another option. I just, this extreme example they're going for, just, I wouldn't be opposed to there being signage there of some kind where it less gargantuan.
See, now you're designing a sign.
Yeah, well, I think we'd be hard pressed, frankly, to find another 16-foot sign, illuminated sign, 3.5 feet high, anywhere in the area. Okay, so I think we voted to not support it.
Right.
We did just vote. Is that everybody comfortable with that
What she
decision?
voted.
Yeah. Okay. Suzanne, you can follow up.
I
with them
will
and tell
follow
them.
up on that.
All right. Any other discussion, members? Thoughts, questions? No?
Oh, I had one thing to just kind of let everyone know. As we are, so this is from with the roster roots, and we're slowly going through construction. But I just wanted to make sure to let everyone know that when the time is right, I wanted to personally invite everyone from the council to kind of come through for a tour. Just to kind of see what's going on in the inside. I'm there every Tuesday anyways at 12 o'clock. If you guys are walking around and you're like, oh, wow, it's like 12:15, I'm going to be in there. Feel free to knock on the door. I'll get you a hard hat and I would love to show you what we're doing on the inside. You won't have to worry about any big ugly signs or anything like that too, with our building, and making sure that the inside and the outside of the space, I really strongly believe that you guys are gonna respect what we're doing there and see that we're paying attention to the community, and any kind of pushback that might have been there without knowing what was going on the inside, I think you'll be happy with what we're doing on the inside, keeping it classy, very old school, vintage Boston type vibe. So yeah, just wanted to throw that out there. I know, Matt, you've had some questions about the cannabis stuff in the area. I'm excited to get open and help kind of ease any of those questions however I can. So yeah, just wanted to let you guys know.
It seems to be going so far. Tito's place is open and there aren't enormous lines outside of it. It seems pretty quiet.
Yeah. So
Well, Fernando, we tried to not have the area completely overwhelmed by your competition, but we failed. They voted another one in, so. sorry
it's
about
all
that.
right. What my plan is to just kind of be the person you guys can vent to about other stuff going on around me. I'm a middle child. I have tough skin. I'll be able to take it. I think with being on the council and being at all these meetings and hearing what people's concerns are and pointing out things that maybe I haven't seen, being able to present that in a way to the Boston Cannabis Board, to the other owners, from a different angle of like, hey, they're not making this stuff up. They've been telling me about this for the last 24 months or however long. So yeah, excited to show everyone and kind of go from there.
Good luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Which one did they vote in, Mark? Is the Quincy Market one?
Yep.
Yeah.
Too bad.
Oh, so Quincy Market went in. Yeah, I didn't even know about that one. It's just, yeah.
They don't listen to us. They don't listen.
Yeah, I guess not. It's like I don't understand the point of having a community actually have input on. So I guess it's the same people running the bike lane stuff. It's like, we want you to tell us what you think, but we kind of don't care what you think.
You'll at some point, Fernando, you'll have to explain to me the business case, because I can't understand where the demand is for 5 within a 5-minute walk of each other.
Yeah, the
The
7 in that buffer zone. It doesn't make any sense. I appreciate
It's not a residential neighborhood. It doesn't get any foot traffic now with the work from home.
Yeah,
I don't get it. I wish you the best of luck. I really do. I just don't
but
see how it's supported by how the demand is that deep. There's
Yeah.
more than there are liquor stores by far.
Yeah. All right. Best of luck to you, Fernando. Something else?
No, does anybody else have anything? And
Great.
we did get a chance to say that at the end.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Take care.
Thank you, everyone.
See you, May 6th.